What's up, Mananap? Welcome to this tutorial. For today, I'm going to teach you how to. Okay, now I'm going to teach you the data manipulation language. So now that we're done already with the data definition language, and I guess it's enough for you to get along with it. Enough for you to do at your own pace, right? So this time, we now proceed with the data manipulation language. So the data manipulation language is actually used to uh, manage our records inside of a table. So we get to insert a record, we get to change or update the record, and delete the record. So by the way, there are actually originally there are four SQL or statement or SQL statement under that category. So we have insert, we have update, we have delete, and we have select. However, in some new books, uh, select statement is actually, as they said, it's not part of DML because it's actually under data query language or DQL. But regardless of whatever is, for me, I believe there are actually four queries under that category. So we have insert, update, delete, and select. Yeah, for some reasons they are correct because select statement is just used to project or show off records. It does not affect the uh, the table. It does not uh, the fact that it's not actually going to change the state of the table. Okay, so this time we are going to now go back to our terminal. So I am going to, let's have here the tables first muna. So I have here TBL two tables. I'm going to create a backup copy of my TBL pet. So create table TBL pet like let's say TBL pet new. Okay, all right. Sorry, baliktad. So we have TBL pet and yeah. Okay, so let's show the tables and now I'm going to focus on the TBL pet. Okay, so I'm now going to describe TBL pet and I'm going to remove some of the some of the columns there here. So alter TBL pet kay tapulan ko mag-insert og records na daghan. So I'll have here draft um, let's say okay, I'll add pet owner. So let's say we have type sige, let's have pet breed. Okay, and then we have pet drop, pet price. Okay, and I'm also going to remove pet owner. So drop pet owner. There you are. Okay, so now I have here ID, name, age, and gender. So one of the SQL statements in DML is insert statement. So the insert statement is used to add new record to our table. So insert into TBL pet. So this is the query, okay, values, okay. So this would mean that we get to insert a record to our TBL pet with the values. Let's say we have 101, and then we're going to add here like name. So let's say Kyle, okay, and then we'll have to insert value for age. Let's say 12. Okay, and then for gender, let's say we have male, and then for type, let's say this is or this pet is actually a dog. So there, that's how you insert a record to your table. So if you want to show the information or the record under that table, you will just have to select from TBL. There you are. I have here the record of Kyle, okay, under ID 101. So yeah, by the way, if I'm going to insert more, let's say I'm going to add two records. So let's say I have here 102, Anna, and then say 15. Anna is a female, and then I have here the cat. And then, of course, I can always invoke this statement, but what if I'm going to add more? Okay, so I'll need to add another, what they call this one, another record. So let's say Ken, and then I have here male, and then let's say this one is a crocodile or crocs. Okay, so I'm going to invoke this statement now. Doesn't match column because I lack age for Ken. So which one? So pet age after name. I'm sorry for that. Let's say 21. Okay, there you are. I'm going to show the records. I have three records already in my table. Okay, so another way to insert a record is, I mean, of course, you can always add a record through this one, no? I mean by like for every column, no? Parang each statement should be in a like in ani day of like what I'm trying to elaborate. I cannot explain it how like basta in ani siya. Let's say I'm going to add 104 and then comma. The name is let's say Pat, okay, and then let's say I have what's next? Age. So age. Okay. And the next is male. This is like female. And then the next one would be the type. Let's say this is snake. And then as long as it does not encounter again, same with the our previous topic, I guess, or my previous tutorial, I guess, as long as it does not recognize this terminating statement or the terminator, it would not execute your entire statement. So once it once it's all set now, because I mean you're already set, and then you just type in the terminating statement. You when you hit enter, so this would add a new record to your data table. So let's have here. So this is yeah, the only thing that is problem with this one is upon reviewing your queries using arrow up and arrow down, you can see here you have the individualized statement that you have just written. Anyway, so select from TBL pet, I have their path. Okay, so we are going to describe our TBL pet. Okay, so you have here ID, name, age, gender. So just in case you inserted a record and then uh, let's say as earlier, no, let's say you lacked for an instance, you lack a name for your value. So let's say you want to add 105 12 female snake and something like that. So of course this would give you an error because the columns does not match value count at row 1. So we're going to go back to that one later on, but I'm going to proceed with another set. Let's say you have the name. Okay, you have the name. So let's say Jan, okay, or then 12, and then this is female. And then how about like female? Of course, your database would not recognize the whatever you're typing is in your as in your record. So let's say for an instance, you have the 105 Jan, 12 snake, and then uh, instead of gender, the order is should be its gender, and then you just type in here snake, and then you type here male. Of course, this will be processed because the database or the table would not recognize you because that it doesn't have the AI, no, for recognizing the values that you're going to type in for gender and for type respectively. So of course, because they are of the same what they call this one, they are of the same data type, it should be processed successfully. So therefore, upon um, showing your records, you have here the snake and the pet snake for pet gender and the pet type is now male. Okay, so if you don't want that to happen to you, no, so in your database, you just have to include, okay, so this is now the case, you now have to include a uh, these are for some reason, no, kinabuhat sa uban, they need to include the fields, so pet ID, pet name, so yeah, next is pet age, and then pet gender, and then pet type. So still, regardless of you still, I mean, you like this is Aria. Let's say Aria, and then 12, and then this is like spider, and then female. Still the same because they are of the same what they call this one data type. Of course, this will be successfully executed. Okay. So again, because the our database doesn't have that AI. Now, of course, you can always do that by like for an instance, uh, you can by using this by explicitly typing or including your columns in your fields, you can actually change the order of your records. I mean the order uh, of the information that of yeah the data that you're going to fill in your database or in your table. Let's say for an instance, instead of I have here the type, instead of I'm going to override the order of the my database table. So let's have here gender, and then I have here let's say instead of pet age, I have here pet name. So of course I would need to follow the order of whatever I'm doing here. So whatever I'm actually using here as the order of my fields. So 107 and then the age would be, because if that is the case, this would be this would display incorrect integer value area from blah 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 etc. Because they are now it's not going to match each um, date datum to every single column that you're trying to uh, that you're actually trying to do here. No, so 107 pet ID, that's okay, but with the pet name we have age, and then I have here uh, the name. So let's say Sansa. And then for pet type, I have the spider and then the female. So if I'm going to, invoke this SQL statement, this would, of course, process it. And the way I do it in that particular order will be also the same with ever I'm going to type in the values. Okay, so meaning you are the one who set the order at the same time, of course, the data that you're going to put in that corresponds to the column. Okay, so aside from that, you can also like modify. I mean, you can also like for some reason there are instances that you don't include actually, like you don't decide yet. So you don't decide yet the name, okay, whatever the name. So let's say first is you only knew the gender and then the type, okay? So you only knew the gender and the type. So you don't want to set name and then the age first. So this time, you will just need to follow that field. So let's have here 8, and then I have here Jeff, okay, and then yeah, so no name. So male, I don't decide name yet. And then this is, of course, I know uh, this is a crocodile. Okay, crocs na lang, crocs. Okay. Now I'm going to hit enter, and there I have here my pet. So this time you have there the null. So in our next succeeding topic, we are going to discuss about SQL constraints. But for now, we'll stick to this one. Another is, as you can see, you have your pet ID, 101. These are supposed to be unique, but since we don't set any like constraints or rules for our table, we can actually include, or I mean, we can actually insert similar ID. I mean, yes, you can actually insert same records, like same name, Sansa, but I mean, completely the same parang information about that pet, but it should be not the same ang ilahang ID. But in this case, since we don't set this one as primary key, that's why we are able to actually insert the same ID. Okay, so because we don't do for now relational data, relational SQL. Okay, so yeah, so I guess that would be all for insert statements. Yeah, another one more pala is for select, you can actually use like I'm going to only show pet name and gender. So you have pet name and pet gender from DBL. So you can also do that in your database. So there I'm only showing name and gender. I guess that would be all for this tutorial, and thank you for watching this video and have a great day ahead. Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe.